warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to everyone. My name is Mirza BME1910002, and I'm 20 years old and currently studying in Malacca City Mara Professional College and taking a diploma in entrepreneurship. So without further ado, I want to ask what the first thing that crossed you guys' mind when hearing the phrases of human rights. People always spoke about it, not because they want it, but they did deserve it. Human rights technically is your right and freedom that belong to you from birth to death. So what are examples of human rights that you think are being overlooked by our society? Let's go one by one. First, can everyone take your hand open like a blooming flower? And whenever you agree with me, put the finger down one by one, okay? So these basically are based on shared value, and the first basic is dignity, fairness, equality, respect, and last but not least, independence. If you put all your finger down, so we have something in common, and you need to focus and listen until the end. Henceforth, these values are defined and protected by law. Today, I want to talk about freedom. Let me begin by mentioning this one quote that sounds like this. We are free since the day we born. And to be exact, my speech is divided into 3 main points. And the first one is our voices are deserve to be heard. And my second point is united we stand, divided we fall. And my final point sounds like this. Don't live an imprisoned life. Now that you're aware of the overview, let me begin with my first point. Like I said before, like I said just now, my first point is about did our voices are being taken seriously, because our voices are worthy enough to be heard. I want you guys to know from 2 perspectives, and the first one is freedom of speech is for everyone. According to UN United Nations Human Rights Committee 2011, metadata retention legislation which jeopardizes free speech and press freedom and can prevent citizens from sharing knowledge on matters of public interest are another troubling trend in Western democracies. Freedom of speech necessitates an open, uncensored, and unrestricted press capable of commenting on public issues without censorship or racism and informing public opinion. The right to access information, and in doing so, keep sources secret and confidential, is a basic tenet of journalism. Furthermore, in the same way about the second perspective is, if the mainstream news is corrupted, people around the world need to realize that news is a business. Journalism is a journalist's hobby, and combining them both does not promise you that whatever you receive is true. So treat mainstream news as other 3 sides to it. The one is the who spread it, the victim, and the middle one is neutral. I give you an example where whenever CNN shows the news about Donald Trump, the former United States President, the CNN news will always be different from the Fox News. And why? It's because both of them doing business, not trying to become honest. Now let us move forward to the second main point, because the crux of the freedom starts from here. If we want to discuss freedom and at the same time freedom is taken away from us, do we realize that we are powerful enough? Because if political forces think that they are powerful than human desire and courage, they are wrong. Why? Because from whatever part of where you come from, there is one thing everyone knows, and that is united we stand, divided we fall. Like the first main point, this point also has 2 views on it. And we start with courage is the key to stand. I want to share with you the current incident of the Myanmar coup d'etat. Before I speak about this topic, please see this visual aid first. We can see the heroine from Myanmar that has the courage of 1,000 men. When Kelsey, also known as Angel, died, she was wearing a t-shirt but read, "Everything will be okay." On social media, tributes have flowed in which many hailing her as a hero. Myanmar has been gripped by widespread demonstrations since the coup on February 1st, demanding an end to military rule and the release of jailed elected leaders from BBC 2020, whom the willingness to die for their country. If each of us has this kind of bravery, the politician will not take us lightly. However, for my second view, where there is unity, there is always victory. My favorite demonstrating this point are the incident called demolition of Berlin Wall. Before we go further on this topic, let us see some visual evidence for it.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, reporting tonight from Berlin.
From the Berlin Wall specifically, take a look at them. They've been there since last night. They are here in the thousands. They are here in the tens of thousands. Occasionally they shout, Die Mauer muss weg, the wall must go. Thousands and thousands of West Germans come to make the point that the wall has suddenly become irrelevant. Something, as you can see, almost to party on. How do you measure such an astonishing moment in history?
According to History.com 2019, over 2 million people from East Berlin traveled to West Berlin that weekend to take part in the festival called the biggest street party in the history of the world by one journalist. People knocked down sections of the wall with hammer picks known as Marschpitz or wall woodpecker. Marschpitz is the German word for wall woodpecker. While cranes and bulldozers pulled down section after section, the Berlin Wall has demolished soon after, and the city was reunited for the first time since 1945. Only today is the war completely over. One Berliner spray paint on the part of the wall. So what happened in this accident told every person in power that if you ever thought that you can control human, you are wrong, because humans are free ever since. Henceforth, now let's consider my final point, which is the major individual message for everyone. My final point is, don't live an imprisoned life. Well, obviously, the best to suit this topic is to live life as you like. No one should tell you how to live, and no one has the right to tell you either. Your life is yours. You deserve to do whatever you want, but remember the boundaries. Where the boundaries at? The boundaries of whatever is never taking others' right. If you never cross it and have a life to the fullest, then you are doing the right thing. Moreover, for this topic, I want to ask everyone to know that life is an award, and please never try to end it. You can get this award only once in a lifetime. Suicide is never a natural occurrence. Suicide is never all about the survivor. Adolescent suicide is the third leading cause of death. Suicide attempt peak in the mid-adolescent years, and suicide mortality is the third leading cause of death in teenagers. From the Whole Child website 2018. So please, suicide is never an answer. Laugh and keep moving forward. The best thing ever in your life will come afterward. And you feel so fortunate and happy for not ending this life early. As I have shared everything I have, let's recap and summarize what we have spoken about today. To tie the loose ends, after all we have been going through just now with the phrases of ever since we were born, we always have been free. This phrase leads to 3 elements that I already shared in my speech with you guys just now, which are the first and foremost, our voices deserve to be heard. The second is we are stronger together than we are apart. Last but not least, stop living a life of captivity. As a consequences, by saying that, I'm pleased with everything I've shared with you. I hope my speech has impact of or touch your guys' heart, even if just a little bit. Last but not least, I want to express my gratitude to everyone for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.